across the endless night and fight on.
Could this
Till
be
every shred
what?
of their being is ground away.
Could that be the most positive Elden? Well, certainly Elden Ring, but the most positive FromSoft song I've ever heard. The way that we look at this character, I know, I'm pausing during the reaction, but for the sake of just like talking about it, isn't this wild? Listen to how positive this is. Crazy. So this is actually like some of the most positive FromSoft music I've ever heard. I think part of it's because we're watching this sort of this knight sort of come back to life, reanimate. So there's this inherent like positive quality in it, as if to say like the battle's not over, right? We're still going to move forward. We're still going to, continue on and fight forward and fight for what's right or whatever. But like what's really cool is check this out. It basically almost sounds like rewinding. It reminds me a little bit of the Tears of the Kingdoms or blah, 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 that rewind kind of music that we get. Listen how cool this is.
The night farers. The will to cross the endless night.
It's weird because it's like it goes basically like fast and then slows down, then picks back up. It's super stringy, obviously. I kind of dig it. Like it's actually like shockingly positive, which you never hear usually in something like this. Certainly in Elden Ring itself, you get that kind of somber consistency, but in this it's positive, which is cool.
And fight on. Till
I
every
love that too,
shred
where
of their
it
being
cuts out.
is ground away.
What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Wow. Dude, that sounds amazing. So I have been kind of a NIGHTREIGN naysayer. I mean, I'm going to play it, but like naysaying in the sense that like, I'm not expecting very much. And it feels a little bit like it's phoned in, or part of me even thinks that maybe it's a little bit of a cash grab. I think that that's not really fair because we know the FromSoft standard is always pretty high. I don't think they would half-ass something. So I think that's a me issue that I think is incorrect. I think I'm going to wake up on whenever this comes out and be sort of like, oh, I was wrong. My bad. It's actually really fun. I have a distinct feeling of that. But chorally, that is dope as shit. That is awesome. So the reason why that's so effective is because it's a cappella and there's no music underneath. It's just straight sort of choir. Also, like visually, it's just so stunning because we have this black screen and then we launch it. You know what I mean? And I think the sharpness of the rhythm there, the proclamation of it is what really, really sends home the idea of like, hey, it's time to get into the action, right? I love that kind of quality. I think also, again, this is like pretty triumphant, bright. It's actually like a really positive change from basically most FromSoft music. If you really think about it, most of these worlds are super bleak. So I wonder if this is actually not like a flip on its head sort of experience, which is actually kind of dope. Let's go back to that. Yeah, and it's all the fast breath. That's cool. And then, that's sick. Oh my god, that. Oh! That's actually incredibly cool. What's really dope about that is that, whoa, that's a gorgeous statue. Oh, I gotta get the collector's edition for the soundtrack. You know what I gotta say? What's really dope about that is the fact that we essentially have not only do we have that fast rhythm, but then we also get a bunch of like rising up sort of motifs musically. Ba 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 ba. There's a couple sections in here. First of all, I love the slam. You know, it's just dope. Like just this whole section right here. Da 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 da. That's the desperate fight right there in those notes. Ba da da da. Bombardier. All that stuff is just to sort of like, I mean, first of all, it showcases the danger in the action, but then it's also super sick because we have the soprano voice over top, which is really, really cool over top of that, which I think like it's supported by that fast rhythmic stuff, which is really, I mean, again, I've already talked about it, but then having the vocals over top add this beautiful layer of like, I don't know, like capability, strength, you know, fortitude. And really those are the main like points of NIGHTREIGN anyway, right? I mean, the whole point of it is essentially, it feels like kind of, I know it's not a boss rush per se, but there's that element of like, you know, getting in there and accomplishing a feat and killing a boss and moving on to the next day. And so there's this sense of like forward momentum in the actual like game itself. And I haven't played any of the pre-tests or anything, and I don't have access to it early, so I don't fully know. I actually don't know what's going on. I kind of going into this blind, but it's really neat how the music lends itself to this positivity. And there's a lot of times where in the music we're going to these, you know, in the upper register, sustaining the notes like that. That's all about like buoyancy and possibility and again, strength. And then you also have this ba 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 as we kind of climb that mountain, if you will. Like you get, I mean, obviously the mixing is kind of bad because it's the audio is not, the music is not in your face here, but you go all those little movements there as well kind of indicate the triumph through adversity and through struggle. I also really love the heavy use of timpani in this. And the lower brass too, the lower brass is really, is invigorating, you know, and it really feels like gathering of forces, which makes sense because, you know, you're going in there with teammates. And I did also read that solo play is very viable in this, so that's kind of exciting. Like that is so cool. That's so sick. And then you have the timpani underneath as well. But having the acapella with the big heavy like lurching towards this crazy like, you know, Elder Dragon, Monster Hunter brain rot, I think is really satisfying. And it just feels like you're not afraid of this world. You're going into battle, and that's really, really exciting. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. Actually, watching this, I'm kind of hyped now. I'll you know, reserve judgment for how it actually plays, but it seems really fun. And also, I saw a character that's very much Sekiro coded, so that's all I really needed to see in order to like sort of buy into it. To be honest, after playing Sekiro and it completely ruining my perspective on FromSoft games because it's so good. Anyway, thanks a ton.